For those that don't know, what makes this interview, out of all the interviews and the conversations that I've had all over the country, this is probably the most legendary, the most exciting one, because who I'm talking to is my dad, right? And anybody who knows my story, they know about my struggle as a young man getting into this place that you and I have now, relationship. We live together, have a great relationship. We continue to build and got some cool stuff going on. But I wanted to be able to give people who listen in, people who follow me, a little bit of backstory about you, where you're from, how you got there, some of the great accomplishments, some of the things that whatever you want to share or not share. Because right now, for me, it's not about like giving like, a crazy story, even though your story is crazy as heck.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's crazy as heck. So, real quick, Diamond Ridgeway, formerly known as, I'm not gonna do that. I'll just hey, and you know what, y'all? I want y'all to know that me and him, we laugh nonstop all the time. This is like normal behavior right here, what you're about to see. So, Daddy, tell them where you're from, who you are, your name, and where you're from.
Well, my name is Diamond Ridgeway. I am born in Los Angeles, California. Grew up pretty much in Michigan, Flint, Detroit area.
So you grew up in Flint. What was Flint like during the time you grew up there?
Well, I didn't know nothing really different, so it was pretty cool.
It was cool.
So I lived in the hood most of my life, so grew up like that and kind of adapted those ways. So that's how it was.
You said you were born in Compton.
Yeah, in California.
How did you get from Compton? So what's the story from you being in Compton to Flint?
Well, actually, my mom, hailed from Michigan, and she was married there, and actually, I guess they had some kind of problems, so she moved to Los Angeles, where I was conceived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how long were you in Compton?
I think about 7 years old, somewhere in there.
Wow.
We moved from Compton back to, I was told I was going to see my dad for the first time, so we moved to Michigan.
Wow.
Where I met this person that supposed to be my dad.
So when you get to, wait a minute now, hold on. So you get to Flint to meet who was supposedly your dad, that wasn't your dad?
Well, actually, it grew up like that, where I thought it was my dad, but knew we had some differences. All my life, I always wondered why we weren't alike or had nothing in common. And I didn't really like the man at all, period. Later on in life, real later, like current, I found out that this was not my dad and really no kin to me. So,
how'd you find out?
I take trips out of the country a lot, and when 9/11 happened, they got real strict. Uh-huh. So I was getting ready to go back to Colombia, South America, and I was updating my passport. Uh-huh. So I used my passport to go up there and try to get my stuff, straight for my trip. Uh-huh. And they said at the post office, they said, "You can't use this birth certificate." I said, "What do you mean I can't use the birth certificate? I've been using this birth certificate all my life." Uh-huh. The lady said, "You need to call the state of California and get your original birth certificate, the one with the seal on it." Okay, so I said, "Wow." So I contacted the state of California, did all that, went through all the channels, paid the money, and they sent me. It was about a week before my trip, and they sent me a birth certificate, and I got upset because my trip was in about a week, and I looked at the birth certificate that they sent, and it wasn't right. Different dad, whole 9 yards, different information. So I flipped out.
Different name.
Yeah.
Different name for you too.
Yeah, it was a different name for me. Parts of the name.
Wow.
And so I called the state of California and I said, "Look, you guys messed up. You sent me the wrong birth certificate," so forth and so on. It was like, "Mr. Ridgeway, that is your original birth certificate." At that time, I freaked out, like I said. So I called my mom, and after I thought about it for a long time. So I called my mom and I said, Mama, I said, how come you didn't tell me? Oh no, I said, how come you didn't tell me John wasn't my father? So she freaked out and said, What are you talking about? I said, how come you didn't tell me John was my father? And she said, where did you hear that from? And who is Bertram Russell?
Oh my God.
And she started crying. She said, where'd you hear that name? I said, on my birth certificate. She said, where'd you get your birth certificate from? I said, from the state of California. And
she would have held on to it.
This secret has been going on forever. And the ramifications behind it are astronomical. They go really, really far when you really think about it. It may seem like when you hear that it's nothing. It's nothing. But when you look at it, like I was raised with brothers and sisters, whole brothers and sisters. Come to find out, nobody's my whole brother and sister.
Right.
Everybody's a half brother and a half sister. My nieces,
which
changes everything. My nieces and nephews are no longer my nieces and nephews. My half brothers that I did have, half brothers and half sisters that I did have on my father's side that raised me, they are no longer any kin to me at all.
Wow.
Wait, goes further. My son carries a name that he is not.
Right.
He's no kin to these people or this name.
So just so y'all know, that's the backstory of me having the last name Dotson.
Absolutely.
My mom's last name is Bird. When they got married, his last name was Dotson, but he was not a Dotson. He was in the household of a Dotson, but he's not a Dotson bloodline. And so here it is, 2021. Mm-hmm. I have a last name that is not connected to my bloodline at all.
At all.
It's insane.
Yeah. And then your kids
have the name too.
So you guys are living a name and making a name great that you have no connection with.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. So like I said,
that's insane.
My cousins, all the people that I was connected with then, really no kin to me at all.
So Grandma Dotson, she would have taken that to her grave.
She was taking it to the grave because she was older when I found out, and my mom died at 96. Uh-huh. Okay, so we're talking recent stuff.
Yeah.
And so this stuff I would have never found out unless I was taking this trip and finna go out of town.
Wow.
Yeah. So it gets very, very.
So
very,
how did you feel when you got that? Because you said that when you grew up, you were growing up, you didn't really connect to John.
Right. So it did. Matter of fact, it was sort of a relief to find that out. It was a relief in the fact that it made sense. It made sense that I didn't like this man. It made sense that we didn't have nothing in common, that we didn't really like each other. It made sense. It made sense that my brothers and sisters were not my whole brothers and sisters because we had nothing in common either.
Right. You know, I teach in my mentorship classes, and even in my book I wrote that every boy needs to be able to measure himself against his father.
Absolutely.
Every boy needs that. And I know that women are raising boys now, which you can't, they got to do what they got to do because some men are not present. But at the end of the day, every boy needs to be able to measure himself next to his father. Absolutely. So you grew up your life without really being able to measure yourself. Absolutely. Did that dictate how you acted in the streets and the stuff you did?
I don't know if it actually had any effect on me like that because, like I said, I felt really alone, period. But it was just to the point where I was just being me. And I always have just been me and never let nobody tell me what to do. I got a very angry spirit and I got a very self-will type of heart. So I always kind of did what I want to do anyway, and I would have did it whether he was or wasn't. And I really wasn't around him like that on a daily basis. I don't remember my father ever giving me more than $1 in my life. So we just.
What type of kid were you in high school? Like, were you?
I really didn't like school at all. School didn't talk about what I want to talk about, what I was interested in. I was interested in a lot of other, some people can call it weird stuff, but school for me, I probably didn't go as much as I was supposed to go. I probably missed more days than I did.
Did you really?
Yeah, I really did.
You know, I never skipped school ever in my life.
I didn't skip. I just told my mom I was sick, and I was her baby.
She babied you, didn't she?
She babied me.
Big
More than
time.
everybody. And my sisters and brothers will tell you that. My mom
Wow.
babied me.
So, but now we know why a little bit more
Now,
too.
yeah, that's exactly right. That would
Wow.
be exactly right.
Wow.
She babied me because I think it was out of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're in high school. You did what you wanted to do. You barely showed up sometimes, and then what made you? Because you went to college too, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you went to college. Is this where a change happened for you, or was it before then?
I was actually made to go to college because my mom just wanted me to go so bad, and I was, like I said, I was real bad, but I really wasn't bad around my mom.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was my girl, period. But she wanted me to go to school, and I went to a school called Saints College in Lexington, Mississippi, which is where a lot of changes happened. But before those changes happened, a lot of stuff took place. A lot of people know my complete story. I won't be able to go through it all right now.
Right.
But a lot of people know my story. I've been through a lot of stuff. A lot of really bad stuff that I created and I did.
When you get into Saints College, and because you weren't bad in front of Grandma Dotson, but you get there and you take this religious journey where you start getting into devil worship and things like that. What made you? Because Grandma Dotson she was a leader in the Church of God in Christ. How did you take that such a rebellious turn from what she was teaching you?
Well, I'll tell you like this. I was raised in the church, and I was rebellious then. I was real angry, real power hungry, real into some other stuff. I started taking, through the way that I started taking martial arts, I think at about 8. And I was taking martial arts for very different reasons than most people knew and understood. I got in martial arts, I got really good at it. But the hidden agenda behind what I was doing, I'll tell you like this, at 8 years old, I hated people. I was a social, I didn't like nobody. And to this day, I battle with that, with more hatred than love, put it that way. So, that being said, young, I got into martial arts. I knew you had to be good to do what I wanted to do. So I wanted to be a hired killer. I just wanted to kill people. And I was going to make that happen one way or another. I mastered weaponry, mastered my body, mastered guns, all of that stuff. That's what I do. So, I always let people know, in life, a lot of people are tempted by lots of different things that they have inside. You're tempted by things that you actually want to do, okay? So you can't tempt me with cigarettes, because I don't want to smoke. Never did. You can't tempt me with alcohol. Never drank anything in my life. Okay. You can't tempt me with a whole lot of stuff, but you can tempt me, or I can be tempted with wanting to hurt people or kill people. I can be tempted with that. You might not be able to be tempted with that. That might not be your thing. But when it comes to me like that, and the devil at a very young age introduced himself to me, possession is very real. God is real, the devil is real, spirits are real, angels, demons, all those things are real. They exist. I know this firsthand. Okay? So when the devil promised me all this power and the stuff that he actually could do for me if I did this, that, and the other, I was willing to go that way. So I remember as a young kid and on up through life, I remember sitting, meditating, levitating, sitting in the floor, chanting with a butcher knife, saying, I am the devil, I'm Satan, totally welcoming that spirit inside of me. Okay, period. And that's what happened. Through that, I got involved. I'll tell you, son, there's a lot of things I can't mention on camera.
Of course.
But I got into so much stuff and so much demonic activity till I started doing exactly what I was told to do. And I was loving it. Okay, and I knew it was wrong because my mom made us go to church. So, but I used to hate it. Then I used to switch from I'm the devil and tell people I'm God. Used to tell them I'm Jesus Christ. Used to put on a robe and go and stand on a hill.
Sound like Kanye West.
And say all kind of stuff. Say all kind of stuff and do all kinds of stuff. But That being said, I've gotten rid of people. I won't, incriminate myself.
Yeah, for
I've
sure.
gotten
Yeah.
rid of people.
Don't do that.
I've done lots of stuff. Lots of really, really bad things.
So let's go into Saints College real quick, because I know some of the story, because it's documented, it's historical. While you were there, I know you told me stories about how you were carrying yourself throughout the campus and had people scared of you and feeling away. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they end Saints College at a certain time because of the stuff that you were doing and keeping up around there?
Well, we'll say this right here. When I first got to Saints, me and my best friend, we were the ones that had to go to Saints. So my mom got with his mom, and we ventured off to Saints College. Now, in our mind, we put together a thing of how we was actually going to go to Saints. We thought we were going to be an exclusive little group, but when we got to Saints College, found out almost everybody was like us. They were all bad kids that were sent there by their parents.
Wow.
So we said amongst ourselves that we were going to go down to Saints and we were going to have a prostitution ring. So we went down to Saints, and that's what we started doing. We started going uptown, getting the girls from uptown, and they call it uptown, not downtown there. We started going up there, and we started getting all these girls that we thought would work for us and so forth and so on, and that would do things in our favor. I remember everybody thought I was weird because of what I used to do, and they used to watch me do it and see, and I already thought I was all powerful by just, just doing what I was doing. And I knew that the weirder I could be would cause a whole lot of drama, other things, and so forth and so on. Now, mind you, even though I knew that the stuff was real, I thought I was in control of it. But in reality, I found out I wasn't in control of anything. And at that particular time, when I first found that out, it scared me half to death. And I know you saw the movie The Exorcist. Okay, I know you saw that movie. I've been in that in real life.